Good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. It's Monday, and that means it's time for your Monday message of mental health with me, Dr. Jen, and the Rose Center for Learning. This week, your message is to mine for esteem. Not mine as in mine as in the verb. Mine for esteem. Usually, when we talk about self esteem, we talk about building it. Build your esteem for yourself and other people. And I prefer the verb mine. And the reason why is because when you mine something, you're going internal, you're going under deep in there to uncover what is there. And I like that better than building, which means that you're kind of pulling from all sorts of resources and, building on top. Mining means going internal and getting something from the inside. And I like that better because really everything you need in order to build good self-esteem, you already have. It's already inside you. It's just that we tend to think about self-esteem all wrong. And so most of us struggle and try to find it from an external source when really we already have it if we can kind of work with what we have in the right way. So how we tend to think about self-esteem is we tend to think about it in terms of, oh, we have to love ourselves and be proud of ourselves and like what we do and who we are and all of those things. So people like me will tell you, well, write a list of things that you like about yourself, or go interview people and say, what do you like about me? And it's all about the positive piece of things. Well, now that's important. Of course, we want to like ourselves. We want to be proud of ourselves. We want to point out things that we think are pretty awesome, particularly because it's a lot easier to come up with negative things usually about ourselves than it is to come up with positive things. There are a lot of sort of reasons why that might be, but whatever the reason, it ends up sometimes being really hard to come up with things that you like. So I'm not saying that's not a good exercise. It's a great exercise, especially if that's something you struggle with, but that's not self-esteem. That's only a piece of it. Full self-esteem, the complete picture, has to do with all of it, not just the things you like, but also the things that you don't like about yourself, the things that you wish were different, the things that maybe you want to try to change about yourself, and the things you can't change that you don't like, that you need to accept. If you're really going to esteem yourself, you're going to esteem all of that, not just the positive things. And that's a misstep we make. So if we're only trying to think about, well, my esteem is built on the positive things and the things I like, well, then what happens when something happens and you don't react in a way you like, or you look in the mirror and say, but I don't like that about myself. I can't be positive about that. I don't like it. And so if we're only looking at esteem over here, then when you don't feel good, or when there are things that happen that are negative or things you wish you could change about yourself, then we're going to see that as not part of esteem. And that makes us feel badly about ourselves. But really, when you are valuing who you are, you want to value all your bits, not just your positive ones. So the couple things that I think about all the time in terms of this, stop me if I've said this to you before. No, wait, you can't, because it's a video. See, Good Will Hunting. There's a wonderful scene in Good Will Hunting, if you've seen that movie, where Robin Williams is playing a therapist and he is counseling Matt Damon's character, but he's having this personal moment talking about the loss of his own wife, and he surprises the Matt Damon character by talking about things that drove him absolutely crazy about her when she was alive, things that annoyed him, those kinds of things. And but the Robin Williams character says, but actually those are the things I miss. It's not only the good times and the lovely easy things, but those things that drove me absolutely crazy about her, I actually miss those too, because those are who she was. It's all of it. All of it was who she was, and I miss all of her. I value all of her, even though those little annoyances. And so we want to be the same way for ourselves. Similarly, in Japan, they have this concept of wabi-sabi, if you've heard of this. And this is a beautiful idea that something that is, that has a crack or a wrinkle or a error or a mistake or a flaw is actually worth more than something that is pure, pristine, and no flaws. So whether you're talking about a vase or a vase that is worth more because of the cracks and imperfections, or whether you're talking about a person with all of our cracks and imperfections. It's a wonderful idea to say you're more valuable when you have all of those cracks and flaws, because it's who you are, and it comes from your experiences and your beliefs and thoughts and time on this planet. And so it makes it beautiful because it's part of who you are. It makes it part of your beauty. So that's the idea that you want when you really look at full self-esteem. You want to look at all of it. So I do a little bit of an exercise with my clients that I'm happy to give to you. It's a great exercise, actually, and you can do it more than once. The idea is you take a piece of paper and you split it into 4 quadrants. And you, in the top left quadrant, you have things that you like about yourself that you've always had. So it might be that you have, really nice elbows, or it might be that you've always been kind, or it might be that you've always been on time and you like that about yourself. So anything, you list all of the things. There should be more than one thing in each quadrant that you list. The top right are things that you like about yourself that you've worked to achieve. So it might be something like you used to be late all the time and now you're on time and you've worked hard on that. Or it might be that you worked very hard to master a skill and you feel great that you mastered that skill. It could be anything. You've worked to be a better friend or a better spouse, or whatever it might be. In the bottom quadrant, in the bottom left, you have things that you don't like about yourself that you wish you could change. So that might be something like, just to give the full example all the way through, it might be that you're late everywhere and you don't like that about yourself. You think that's something I think I might like to try to change. So that's something I'm going to put there. It could be anything about yourself that you might like to change. Maybe it's some physical feature, that you think I want more muscles, or I want less fat, or I want to, dress better, or I want to maybe not dress so fancy and relax a little more, or I want to find ways to be outside more. Whatever it is, just things about yourself that you wish you could change. And then in the last quadrant, it's things about yourself that you can't change, that you have to accept. So what did I say in the first? Elbows. So it might be that you have like really knobby elbows and you just can't change that about your elbows. There's nothing you can do about them. You just have to accept it. But it also might be that you just have to accept you're a late person. Maybe you've tried to change that about yourself. It hasn't worked. And you think, this is just who I am. I'll just let everyone know I'm late. And with apology, say, this is just part of who I am. And I just have to accept that about myself. Whatever that idea might be, that's quadrant 4, things that you don't like that you just need to accept. So altogether, this is an exercise that is called Johari's window, Johari. I found it somehow early in my career, so I can't even credit it to the original source. I'm not sure what the original source is from, but it is a wonderful exercise to really learn how to esteem all of yourself. Because once you write all of those things down, the next step is to say, this is all of who I am, and I'm going to embrace it all. And the things that I don't like about myself, I'm going to learn to embrace with a little bit of humor. And the things that I really like about myself, I'm going to learn how to embrace with a little humor. So the second piece of good self-esteem is that humor, to be able to say, and that humor comes from the confidence of understanding all of the parts of yourself and really being okay with all of them, and not, not only valuing parts, but valuing the whole. When you can do that, you become confident in who you are. And when you're confident, then the humor can come in, right? Because you're not overly sensitive. You're not feeling badly about yourself. You're just saying, this is who I am. So even if it's something you don't like, and even if it's something that somebody maybe, points out or razzes you about, you can come back with laughter and acknowledgement and say, yes, that's part of me. You're absolutely right. And in that way, if it's somebody who's trying to be mean to you, like a bully, you can easily shut them down by just having humor and saying, yeah, you're right. That's true. I am like that. You're right. And they've nowhere to go with that. Or if it's just for yourself that you want to, stop bullying yourself, then having a little humor and saying, yep, that's me. is a really important aspect. And similarly with the things you like about yourself, having humor about that too, so that you don't get overconfident and egotistical and all of these characteristics that we don't like. You can say, yes, I have all of these wonderful things, but they're just part of me. I have lots of parts of me, and I can kind of diffuse that and put it all into a perspective rather than stick just in that super awesome me place all the time. So that's the idea of really kind of mining for that full self-esteem. It just doesn't come to you naturally or by what other people say. You've got to actually really kind of seek it out and spend some time getting a full picture of yourself. Obviously, this also helps with other people as well, that everyone else has full sides to themselves too. So really understanding somebody, we tend to stick on the positive side, this person is all good, or this person is all bad, but understanding that everybody has these 4 quadrants, and it's helpful to really kind of put that into perspective. So that is your Monday message of mental health for this week. Go and mine for esteem. And if you have any problems, questions, comments, concerns, come visit us at www.rosecenterforlearning.com or on social platforms at the Rose Center. And, as always, click, enjoy, and share with everyone you know. Have a great week. See you next time.